All right, so are you ready to dive into this? We're going deep on Costco today, folks.
Costco. Sounds good.
Specifically, um, their their stock, how's it doing? What's the future looking like? And we've got a great Motley Fool article to kind of guide us along the way.
Right.
So whether you're a hardcore investor or just curious about this retail giant, I think it'll be pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
So the big questions we're going to be kind of exploring are why has Costco been just crushing it in the stock market?
Why?
Can they keep this momentum going? What
Yeah.
what are the what are analysts saying about their future? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Costco's stock, it's been like a rocket ship lately.
Yeah.
You look at the past 3 years, it's up like 80%.
Seriously. It's
It's
incredible.
it's way outperforming the S&P 500.
Wow, okay. I'm impressed, but what's driving that? Like
Yeah.
like what's going on? It's not like the economy's been, super fantastic.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what makes Costco's performance so remarkable. Despite all the headwinds we've been facing.
Right, right.
We're talking about inflation and supply chain issues and all that stuff. They've managed to grow consistently, and a lot of that comes down to their kind of unique business model.
Yeah, okay. So break this down. Break down the Costco magic here.
All right, right.
I mean, because we all know they sell stuff in bulk,
Right.
but there's obviously got to be more to it.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely more to it than just that. It's almost it's almost counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But Costco's profit, it's not primarily driven by selling mountains of toilet paper or those giant tubs of mayonnaise.
No way, seriously.
Yeah.
So what's the secret sauce? What is it?
Their secret weapon, their secret sauce, I guess you could say, is those membership fees.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Think about it. You're literally paying for the privilege of shopping there, right?
Right.
So that steady stream of membership revenue, that's what kind of underpins their whole operation.
That's so wild. It's like they flip the whole script.
Right.
But how does that actually work? Like how does that play out?
Well, it starts with their incredible buying power.
Okay. Okay.
Because they buy in
Yeah.
in such massive quantities, they can just squeeze suppliers for rock bottom prices.
Yeah, that makes sense. But then they turn around and they offer those low prices to their members, right?
Right. Exactly.
So where are they actually making their money?
You got it. The membership fees, that provides a huge chunk of their profit.
Wow.
And because they're buying products so cheaply, even selling them at a discount
Yeah.
still leaves them with a nice margin. It's like this brilliant feedback loop they've got going on.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
And it seems to be working judging by, their stock performance. But let's talk growth.
Okay.
They're constantly opening new warehouses, which, I'm assuming that's got to be a key part of the strategy, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Each new warehouse, it's like a magnet. It pulls in new members and adds to that all-important membership revenue.
Right.
Plus they have incredibly high renewal rates. We're talking something like 90% globally.
Wow, that's amazing.
People just can't seem to quit Costco once they're in.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. But the real question is, can they keep this up? Can they really keep growing at this pace?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is.
Analysts seem to think so.
Okay.
They're projecting annual revenue growth at about 7%. And earnings per share or EPS, growth of around 10% over the next few years.
Hold on. What's EPS again?
Oh, good catch. It's a way to measure a company's profitability.
Okay.
Essentially, it tells you how much profit they're making for each share of stock.
Okay, got it.
So in Costco's case, analysts think that number, will grow by about 10% each year.
Got it. So 7% revenue growth,
Right.
10% EPS growth.
Right.
Those sound pretty solid.
They're pretty solid numbers.
Yeah.
But for context, it's interesting to compare Costco to their rivals.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Like take Walmart, for example.
Okay.
Their projected revenue growth is lower. It's at around 5%.
Uh-huh.
But their EPS growth, that's projected to be a whopping 17%.
Wow, that's a big difference. Why would Walmart's earnings be growing so much faster?
Well, it kind of highlights their different strategies.
Okay.
Walmart is really laser focused on e-commerce and integrating technology into their operation.
Right.
They think that's where the biggest profit growth is going to come from.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, everyone's buying everything online these days.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Costco, on the other hand, they seem to be doubling down on their classic brick and mortar model.
What should I?
They're opening new warehouses and they're really banking on the strength of that in-person shopping experience.
So it's almost like they're playing kind of different games in the same arena.
Right.
Walmart's chasing the online shoppers while Costco's sticking to their warehouse roots.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely. But here's where it gets, really interesting.
Okay. Okay.
Costco's valuation.
Uh-huh.
Their stock is currently trading at 56 times this year's earnings.
56.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So explain what that means, because I'm sure some of our listeners are probably like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah. It basically means that for every dollar of profit that Costco generates, investors are willing to pay $56 for a share of the company.
Okay. So that's a lot.
Yeah, to put that in perspective, Walmart, they're trading at about 40 times earnings.
Okay.
And BJ's Wholesale, another warehouse club, they're at just 25 times earnings.
Okay, so Costco stock is way more expensive than relative to their profits, right?
Exactly.
But why? What's driving that? What's making it, so high, so premium?
There are a couple schools of thought on this.
Okay.
Let's start with the bull case. The argument for why this high price tag might actually be justified.
Okay, all right. Convince me why Costco deserves this premium valuation.
Well, the bulls, they point to what they call Costco's wide moat.
Wide moat, okay.
Yeah, essentially their unique business model, their incredible buying power, their reputation for offering high quality products at low prices. It creates this huge barrier to entry for competitors.
Okay, so they're kind of like the kings of the warehouse club.
Yeah, like
and
sure.
the moat protects them from being dethroned.
Exactly. Plus, they've proven to be incredibly resilient to economic downturns.
Right.
In fact, some people even view them as like a safe haven stock. A place to kind of park your money when things get uncertain.
Right.
And that inherent stability also contributes to their high valuation.
So even if the economy takes a hit, investors are pretty confident that Costco is going to weather the storm.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a powerful position to be in.
It really is.
But of course there's always another side to the story.
Right.
We need to consider the bear case, the arguments against this high valuation.
All right, so let's play devil's advocate.
Right.
What are the bears saying about Costco's, sky high price?
Well, one concern is that this whole, safe haven status, it might be inflating the price, beyond what's actually justified.
Okay.
When investors get nervous, they tend to flock to these reliable companies.
Right.
Which can drive up the stock price, even if the company's performance doesn't necessarily, warrant it.
So it's possible that fear rather than pure fundamentals is pushing Costco stock higher than it should be.
Yeah, it's a possibility. And then there's the issue of Costco's dividend yield, which is currently, at a paltry 0.5%.
Oh, right. Remind me again what dividend yield is.
Sure. Basically, it's the amount of money you get back from a company in dividends.
Okay.
Expressed as a percentage of the stock price.
Got it.
So a 0.5% yield, that means that for every $100 you invest in Costco,
yeah,
you'll only get 50 cents back in dividends each year.
Yeah, that's not much.
Exactly. And for investors who are looking for income from their investments, that low dividend yield, it might be a deal breaker, especially when the stock price is so high.
Right. So the bears are saying Costco is potentially overpriced,
Right,
and doesn't offer much in the way of dividends.
right.
Those are some valid points. So where do you land on this?
Like
are you buying what the bulls are selling, or are you siding with the bears?
I wouldn't say I'm firmly in either camp just yet. It's more nuanced than that.
Okay, all right, fair enough. There's definitely a lot to unpack here, but But what's fascinating about this Motley Fool article is it brings up another interesting factor. Costco raised their membership fees recently.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. For the first time in 7 years.
7 years, wow.
Yeah.
You have to wonder, like, what finally, what prompted this?
Well, the article it suggests it was a strategic move to help, offset some of the rise in costs they're facing.
Right.
Things like inflation and increased wages.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, inflation is hitting everyone hard.
Crazy.
But does that mean Costco's legendary, low prices are at risk?
That's the big question.
Right.
But think about it this way. Costco has this incredible pricing power.
Yeah.
Because of their, unique business model.
Okay.
They can leverage their massive buy-in volume to negotiate the best possible deals with suppliers.
Right.
So even if costs go up, for everyone, they're in a better position than most to kind of absorb those increases.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But how are consumers going to react to paying more? Yeah.
For their membership.
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
Some folks, they might decide it's just not worth the extra cost, especially if they're already feeling pinched by inflation.
Yeah.
We could see a dip in renewal rates.
I can see that happening. But
Yeah.
but what if this fee increase, it's actually a sign of strength,
Ooh.
not weakness.
I like the way you're thinking.
Yeah.
Costco, they're known for being pretty conservative with price increases.
Right.
They didn't touch membership fees for 7 years. Even when everyone else was raising prices.
Uh-huh.
This could be a sign that they're confident enough in their value proposition to ask members to pay a little more.
So they're basically betting that their loyal members are willing to pay a premium for the Costco experience. Exactly. And they've got a pretty good track record of delivering on that promise of value. I mean,
Yeah.
have you ever left Costco feeling like you didn't get a good deal?
Honestly.
Never.
Yeah, there you go.
But this fee increase raises a bigger question. What's Costco's long-term strategy here?
That's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
By raising membership fees, they're essentially doubling down on what's made them successful. Those brick and mortar warehouses, the treasure hunt experience, the allure of bulk buy-in.
Right. So they're sticking to their guns even when the rest of the retail world seems to be shifting, towards online shopping.
Exactly. It's a bold move, and it really makes you wonder if this classic warehouse model, can withstand the growing tide of e-commerce. That's the $1 million question, isn't it? Can Costco hold their own against giants like Amazon and Walmart,
Right,
who are investing heavily in online shopping?
It's a David and Goliath situation, for sure.
Yeah.
But remember, Costco has a fiercely loyal customer base.
Yeah.
and a business model that's proven itself time and time again.
So they've got some serious strengths going for them.
Yeah.
But let's be realistic. They're not immune to the challenges of the modern retail landscape.
Right.
I think that the key for Costco is going to be, finding the right balance between, sticking to what they do best and adapting to the evolving needs of consumers.
Right. They need to evolve without losing sight of what makes them unique.
Exactly. That's a tightrope walk for any company.
Absolutely. But let's circle back to you, our listener.
Yes.
We've explored the bull case,
Right.
the bear case, and now this intriguing fee increase.
Yeah. What stands out to you?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Costco's future prospects?
Yeah, we want to hear from you. Is Costco's model as bulletproof as it seems, or are there cracks in the armor? Do you think this fee increase is a brilliant move, or is it a risky gamble? Take a moment, ponder these questions as we head into the final stretch of our deep dive. So it's decision time, folks. I mean, have we reached a verdict on Costco?
Well, before we hand down our final analysis, the Motley Fool article, it did highlight one more kind of crucial detail
Yeah.
about Costco's growth strategy.
All right. All right, lay it on me. What's the inside scoop here?
Well, Costco, they're planning to open a whopping 29 new warehouses next year.
Seriously?
Yeah, 29. 29. Mostly here in the U.S. Yeah, they're not slowing down on expansion, that's for sure.
That's a bold move. I mean, considering everything we've talked about with the rise of online shopping.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like they're making a bet against the trend.
Right.
While other retailers are pouring money into e-commerce, Costco's, they're doubling down on brick and mortar.
So they're going all in on the in-person shopping experience. But is that a sustainable strategy in the long run? I mean, personally, I love wandering those aisles and stumbling upon, unexpected treasures. But will the next generation of shoppers, will they feel the same way?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question.
Yeah.
Will younger consumers who are so accustomed to the convenience of online shopping
Right.
be as drawn to the Costco model?
Yeah, will they embrace the treasure hunt, aspect of it, or will they just see it as a hassle? I mean, it's a gamble for sure.
It is. And they're not completely ignoring the online world either. I mean, they do have a website and an app, but it's clearly not their primary focus.
No, for sure not. It almost feels like they're intentionally staying in their lane, focusing on what they do best rather than trying to be, everything to everyone.
Exactly. It's a classic case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
But the retail landscape is, constantly evolving.
It is.
So it'll be interesting to see if this strategy continues to pay off.
Yeah. It's a high stakes game, and they're playing it their way. So for our listener out there, let's try to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I mean, we've dug deep into Costco's financials,
Yes.
their business model, their growth strategy. Right.
The bull and bear cases for investing in their stock.
Uh-huh.
We even thrown in, some thought-provoking questions about the future of retail.
Yeah. I think the bottom line is this.
Yeah.
Costco, they're a fascinating company.
Yep.
With a lot going for them. They've got a proven track record, a loyal customer base, and a unique approach to retail.
But they're also facing some very real challenges.
Right.
Including rising costs,
Yeah.
Increasing competition, and the ongoing shift, towards online shopping.
Right. So the decision of whether or not to invest in Costco, it's ultimately up to you, our listener.
It really is.
There's no easy answer.
No.
Weigh the evidence, consider your own, investment goals, your risk tolerance,
Right.
and make an informed decision. And remember, even if you decide that Costco stock isn't, the right fit for your portfolio,
Yeah.
you can always enjoy those delicious $1.58 hot dogs and the thrill of finding, a 50-gallon drum of mayonnaise.
There's always a silver lining.
Always.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Costco.
Yeah.
We hope you found it, insightful and maybe even a little bit entertaining.
We did too.
Until next time, happy investing. So before we wrap this up, the Motley Fool article, it brought up another point about Costco's growth strategy.
Uh-huh.
They're actually planning to open a bunch more warehouses next year, like a whole lot more.
Really?
29 new warehouses to be exact.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, mostly here in the U.S. actually. So it's safe to say that they're not really slowing down on expansion.
I mean, that's a bold move, isn't it? Like, considering, everything we just talked about with online shopping, in that whole world.
Yeah, it really is. It's like they're almost betting against the trend.
Right.
Everyone else is putting money into e-commerce, but Costco is like doubling down on those physical stores.
Yeah. So they're really committed to that in-person shopping experience. But is that going to work long term? I mean, I personally love going to Costco, just wandering around, finding all the crazy stuff they have. But will the next generation of shoppers, will they feel the same way?
That's the big question, isn't it? Will the younger shoppers, the ones who are so used to buying everything online, will they even want to go to a Costco.
Yeah. Yeah. Will they see it as like a fun adventure, like a treasure hunt, or will it just be a hassle? It's definitely a gamble.
It is. It is. And they're not completely, ignoring the online world.
Right.
They have a website, they have an app,
Yeah.
but it's clearly not their main focus.
No, not at all. It's almost like they're choosing to stay focused. You know what I mean? Like just doing what they do best, not trying to be everything to everybody.
Right, right. It's the classic if it ain't broke, don't fix it approach.
Oh, exactly.
But the retail landscape, it's always changing. So it'll be interesting to see if this strategy still works in a few years.
Yeah, for sure. It's a risky game they're playing, but they're playing it their way. So, to our listeners out there, let's wrap this up. I mean, we've really gotten deep into Costco, their financials, their whole business model, their plans for the future, the good and the bad about investing in their stock.
Right.
We've even gotten into the bigger picture of retail, like what the future holds.
Yeah. So, I think the bottom line is this. Costco is a really interesting company with a lot of good things going for it. They've got a solid track record, a really loyal customer base, and they really have a unique way of doing things.
But they're also up against some real challenges.
Right.
Like rising costs, more and more competition, and the whole world of retail is moving online.
Yeah. Yeah. So the decision about whether or not to invest in Costco, it's really up to you, our listener.
It is.
There's no right or wrong answer. Just, look at the evidence, think about your own, financial goals, how much risk you're comfortable with,
Right. Yeah.
and make the decision that feels right for you.
Exactly. And hey, even if you decide Costco stock isn't right for you, you can still enjoy those amazing $1.50 hot dogs and the thrill of finding a giant tub of mayonnaise.
Yeah, there's always something fun at Costco.
Always, always. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Costco.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We hope you learned something and maybe even had a little fun along the way. Until next time, happy investing.